In this video, we'll look at factoring a quadratic in the form x squared plus bx plus c. Now notice in this form, there's no number written in front of the x squared term, or in other words, the coefficient of x squared is just 1. When you have a quadratic in this form, your first step is to put the quadratic into the form x squared plus bx plus c. So in other words, if the terms were not in descending order by exponent, you would do that first. Then construct binomials of the form x plus blank times x plus blank. The numbers that go in the blanks must multiply to be c and add to be b. If no such integers exist, then the trinomial is not factorable, and it's called a prime polynomial. So identifying here my b and my c, I have b is -5, the number in front of the middle term, and c is +4. So I have z squared minus 5z plus 4. So I want factors of 4. So my possibilities are only 1 and 4, or 2 and 2. And they have to add up to be -5. They have to multiply to be a positive and add to be a negative. So if I went ahead and did negative times negative, these two multiply to be a +4 and add to be a -5. So they multiply to a +4, which is my c, and they add to be a -5, which is my b. You have to be careful with the signs, because if you're multiplying to be a positive, you have to have the same sign on both numbers. So once you get those, you would go ahead and make your two binomials. And in the first binomial, you would have z minus 1 and z minus 4. That would be your final answer. Now it's okay if you wrote the z minus 4 first. So another valid answer would be parentheses z minus 4, close parentheses z minus 1, close parentheses. These are equivalent because multiplication is commutative, meaning it doesn't matter which factor you write first when you're multiplying. Now, the way to check, anytime you're solving one of these and you want to check, you multiply it out. That's how you check your factorization. So I want to check, I'm going to go ahead and FOIL it out. So I'm going to do first two terms multiplied together. That's the first two terms. Plus the outside terms, z times -4. So I'm actually going to write that as -4z. So there's my outside terms. My inside terms would be -1 times z, so -1z. Those are my inside terms. And my last terms are -1 times -4, which gives me a +4. So foiling it out, I will combine my like terms. So I'll get z squared minus 5z plus 4. That's exactly what I started with. And so I've checked that my factored answer is correct. So remember, anytime you have that form where you have x squared plus bx plus c, you're looking for factors of c that add to be b. So they have to, your two numbers have to multiply to be whatever c is, and they have to add to be whatever b is. And you just have to be careful of the signs that you use.